Perth Podcasts, Athlete Things, Road to Junior Worlds 2024, Malta. I'm Bobby Tan from Performotion, and joining us today as our guest speaker, we have Eszter Sallai. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, thanks for asking. So, Eszter, just to reintroduce yourself a little bit, who are you and how have you qualified for Junior Worlds this year?
Yeah, so I'm a junior lifter from Hungary. I'm competing as a 69 lifter. I did nationals this year in May, and this is how I qualified for Malta. And I've been powerlifting for a pretty long time now, around 7 years. I also competed as a sub-junior.
Oh. And how many times have you competed since then?
I don't know.
Too many?
Many.
And how did you start powerlifting?
So I always been pretty competitive. I played handball, like at a pretty high level here in Hungary. And then I finished that and I wanted to switch to another sport, but something with like sport that I know I have to use my strength and all my muscles. And then I started looking for something and somehow I found powerlifting and I stick to it. That's it.
Sounds great. So it's been 7 years and it's your last year in junior now?
Yes, that's my last year.
Yeah. Opens is waiting for you. So, Eszter, you've been on the world stage last year in Romania, right?
Yes.
How did you do?
I did pretty well. I went 9 for 9 and I finished at 5th place and did a total PR of 472.5 or 77.5.
I think it was 77. Yeah. And back then, you only started working with Steven from Performotion for quite a short time, right?
We've been working together for a little over a year now.
Yeah, so back in Junior Worlds, it was pretty short.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how has the experience been? Like, how's being coached by Steven like?
It's been really good. I like that he knows what to say. Like, if I need a little bit more, then he's gonna text me more or say more, and then I'm fine and I'm totally good. Then he just knows what to say.
It's great.
Also, my lifts progressed a lot, so it's been good.
It's good. So after Worlds, you competed at Euros, and it wasn't a long turnover. It was about 6 weeks, right?
Yeah, around 6 weeks.
Yeah. And do you plan to compete in Euros this year as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna compete at Euros this year as well. But the only thing that changed, I'm doing worlds as a 69 kilo lifter, but I'm doing Euros as a 76. Well, there are a few reasons behind that. Well, the first thing is I'm thinking about moving up a weight class. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna start eating more after Malta and do that for like 2 or 3 months and like see how things are turning out, how I feel about myself, my body image, if I feel comfortable in my own body and stuff like that. Obviously, how my training is going, and then we will decide cut down or just stay in these 76s.
Okay. So since working with Steve, you guys have done 3 competitions. So it was last year, Euros, and this year's Nationals.
Yes.
what did you learn from each meet, working with Steve or like by yourself? Like, yeah, what do you learn by yourself?
Last year's Worlds was my first Worlds, so I was really excited going to my first Worlds, and I was pretty confident that I'm gonna do a total PR or something, and like I didn't really care about what others gonna do in numbers, so that totally was a great experience. After then Euros, I had some personal stuffs going on, and mainly this is why my comp didn't go well. Obviously, my recovery was terrible. Like, I lost weight and stuff like that. But before that, I wanted to finish on the podium, but obviously that didn't happen because all the terrible stuff. So it kind of gave me a little bit of anxiety that I must do this year. But then I had to change my mindset that it is not a must to get a medal, and rather focus on like go 9 for 9, do a total PR and progress, and then if I earn that medal, that is gonna be mine. So getting a medal, it's not just only on me, but on the others, and like I have to focus on myself, do my training the best way I can, and just focus on recovery, and then we will see.
Yeah, because it's like doing your best and going 9 for 9 is just gonna increase your chances of doing well against the competitors. Like if you think too much about competitors, you might get too anxious.
Yeah.
So you mentioned about anxiety earlier for Euros, right? What form of anxiety did it take up, and how did you manage to overcome it in the future?
Well, I had it obviously because I compared myself to the other lifters that I have to do this and this to be on the podium. The thing that I'm doing, I'm started working with a sports psychologist. You may know him because he's also working with Anna and with a few German lifters. So obviously that helps a lot. And also this is why I kind of changed my mindset, that because I started our first session like I must get a medal, and like he was like, you have to think about that because maybe not the real goal you should have. And like I was thinking about a lot, and then I was like, he's right. That's not the way I wanna go to a comp. I wanna do my best. I wanna go 9 for 9, do a total PR, and then if I get to the podium or get a single lift medal, I will be really happy with that.
And that took place after Euros, so that change manifested during nationals this year?
We only started working together like in July. So
Okay.
for nationals, I didn't have that problem because I was pretty confident that I'm gonna win my weight class. Yeah.
Were there any takeaways for nationals?
Sorry?
Sorry?
What was the question?
Oh, sorry. Were there any takeaways for nationals this year? Like any lessons for yourself?
Well, I had a little bit of glute pain before nationals, and not during my last block, but before that. And I had time that I'm not gonna make it, or it's gonna be shitty comp for me. But I had only one session with Tom, and my glute pain almost disappeared. So obviously, then I had a pretty good block before nationals, and like I pulled a comp PR.
Yeah, Tom's a magician, man. I'm glad to hear that. And going to Worlds, is your body still injury free, like it was for nationals?
Well, I have a little bit of shoulder pain, but it is getting better week by week. So it's gonna be fine. I can happily bench with that, so it's not a problem.
That's good. And right as we're speaking, we are exactly about 4 weeks out.
Yes, we are for.
And how has your training been? And yeah, how's your training been?
So my training has been really good, I think. We are doing a pretty long block this time as well. We did this before last year's Worlds as well. It is 7 weeks. I usually do 5 weeks long blocks. We tried to do like 4 weeks, but it just didn't work that good. So we rather decided to do 7 weeks again, but with a really slow ramping. So I had, let's say, 2-3 weeks of slow ramping, and like I only started going to higher weights maybe this week. So the real push starts now.
So right as we speak, you are entering into the most difficult part of the peak. And
The
like
most part fun. The most fun part fun.
Are you excited or nervous about this peak, considering it's going to be 7 weeks compared to your usual 5? Or are you confident that running into a long block that, like you did before last year, it's going to be good?
No, I'm confident that it's going to be working out really well. I'm not tired at all at the moment. I'm really ready to push, so that's going to be fine.
And do you feel nervous going into Worlds at all?
Maybe a little bit, but not that much. Shifting my mindset helped a lot. I still have goals to achieve, regardless of medals, but maybe medals as well, but I'm not focusing on that part that much.
Yeah. So it's more about your personal achievements rather than medals and placings on podiums.
Yes, hitting 500 would be really great. And also
are you
a really good IPF number to be ranked higher here in Hungary.
Yeah. And is 500 like on the horizon? Is it like out of reach, or is it like within your grasp?
I think it is within. Last block I did a weekly total of 492.5 with more in the tank, especially with deadlifts. It was pretty easy. So I think it's totally achievable, and I'm looking for it.
That's great. So now heading into your second Junior World Championship, do you feel like there's a difference in your mindset? Like earlier you mentioned you started working with a sports psychologist. Would you say there's a difference between your mindset for Worlds and for Nationals this year?
obviously it is different because I knew that if I don't bomb out, I'm gonna win nationals. I went there with confidence that I will be able to win. With words, like loads of strong girls, especially in the 69 kilo class. Probably one of the strongest classes at words.
Yeah.
With 60 degrees.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm rather focusing on myself. Also, of course, a goal. I don't think I can get on the podium, but I want to get on the podium with a single lift medal, maybe. So that's totally, I think it can be achievable. We will see. So,
And sorry?
Yeah.
Sorry, what did you say?
So mainly these are my goals.
Yeah. Like, so do you, for that single lift medal that you were trying to vie for earlier, do you have any specific lift that you think might put you up there in the podium?
Yeah, so based on nominations, I may have a chance to get a bench press or a deadlift medal. Like, my bench press improved a lot since nationals. I benched 112 during training, and with around 110, it can be achievable. So, and also put a pretty good 210 last block last week. So we will see.
Yeah. And you added like 7.5 kilos to your
my bench.
Yeah, that's insane. And like you mentioned that you had a niggle in your shoulder as well.
Yeah, well, it started after that final week of the last block. So my bench press improved a lot since nationals, like 70.5 kilos in 3 months, which was like 2 years for me in the past year. So obviously that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. And regarding your shoulder, do you think that might be an issue coming into Worlds, or do you plan to get it sorted?
No, I don't think it's going to be an issue.
That's great. Then now, going to your second World Championship, what are you looking forward to the most there? Doesn't have to be just like competing. Like, can be anything about Malta.
Well, lots of my teammates also competing, so I also looking forward to their comps because I will be there for a week. So after my comp, I can go and cheer for them, and maybe also for my last final deadlift. I'm pretty excited about that.
It's great. Did Team Hungary send a much bigger team this year compared to Romania last year?
Yeah, much bigger. Powerlifting is definitely improving here in Hungary.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's it like over there in Europe? Like how is the Hungarian Powerlifting Federation doing?
Well, it is doing better year by year, definitely. We need more comps because there are more lifters year by year. So like in June, we had second class nationals and we have like over 200 lifters competing, and it was second class nationals. So we are getting better.
Do you think it's due to the federation getting better, or do you think like powerlifting is getting more traction in Hungary?
I think both, but
Both.
obviously because of like TikTok and Instagram, like
Yeah.
more and more young lifters are coming and competing.
I think having big meets like Sheffield would help
Yeah,
as well. Like it makes the sport much more watchable, enjoyable, and something you want to be a part of as well.
yeah, sure.
And yeah, so how many athletes did Team Hungary send last year, if you remember?
I don't know, just a few
Just a few.
probably. Euros were different because last year's Euros were in Hungary. So obviously we had more lifters competing in the national team in Hungary, but
Yeah,
in Romania, I don't know,
less than 10?
around 10 maybe.
10.
Now we have, I
And
think, like 25 or
oh
something,
wow, that's more than double.
or 20.
Yeah, it's great. And like, are some of them like your friends that you train
Yeah,
with?
teammates and friends.
It's great. And
So from this year, we are having a Hungarian SBD kit.
oh yes, the one that Anna wears as well.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Do you guys have a shirt, by the way? Like the Hungarian shirt?
Yes, we have.
Ah, okay, okay. Got it. So there are many things that are sort of that have changed from last year, such as like getting your kit. I guess Bulls being sending a much larger team as well. And are you excited to be a part of it? Like as a returning athlete for Wolves?
Yeah, totally. Like my thing about the kit that, well, the time when, no, that's different. So something shit happened on my training when I first wore the Hungarian kit.
Oh no.
So I decided to not to wear it until Words, and I'm
Okay.
only gonna wear it at Words, so it's gonna be fine. But I'm wearing the shirt, but not the whole kit, and
Okay.
it's gonna be a special uniform, so I'm gonna feel more confident, and
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be worthy just to put it there and wait for it to wear at Words.
Okay. So the thing that happened, is it like powerlifting related or
I think yes. So yeah, I pulled my back during the
oh
lifting.
my god. And that was the
So
first time
that was
wearing the
my
kit.
last week of a block, and I was like, it's gonna be really good. I'm gonna pull something big, and then with my warm ups around 170, I pulled my back, and it was like really shitty. It was terrible. Like I have a pretty high pain tolerance, but it was bad. But obviously it got better day by day, and that was the day when I decided I'm not gonna wear the singlet, but it's gonna be a special occasion to wear it only at Worlds and
Yes.
Euros.
Yes. And you most definitely won't put your back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. So going into Wolves, you're once again nominated fifth. How does that make you feel?
I don't really care about that. I wanna be in top 6 maybe, because like the girls are really strong in the top 10 also. Like we are pretty close to each other after the first, second, and third. Maybe they have a little bit higher nominated total, and then we are pretty close to each other. So until my comp is going well and I'm doing good, go 9 for 9, I don't care that much about placing. but I want to be in top 6 maybe.
Okay, that's great. It's all about yourself. I think that's what's really important, and what's to allow you to do the best you can.
Yeah.
So, just out of curiosity, did you take a plane from Hungary
Yeah.
to Romania last year, or did you drive?
No, to Romania. It was a 6 or 7 hours of drive.
So you drove there?
Yeah. Not me,
Yeah.
my family.
Right. And they were there to watch you?
Yeah.
That's really sweet. So, is this the first time you'd be flying out to compete? Like, technically, like boarding a plane?
No, I also took the plane to Sweden, Lithuania, because I competed at Euros several times, I guess.
A few years ago.
Yeah, as a sub-junior in Lithuania, I had a Euros in Sweden, and maybe also once I did a bench only comp in Luxembourg.
Oh, yeah, where Gaston is. So now that you know what you want to do, like, does that make you nervous, or like, do you feel like you're confident and committed to achieving what you want to achieve? Because most of your goals, they are pretty performance, and they're pretty self-oriented. I don't see like any competition. I don't see, it's all about you, and I think that's a really good thing, especially like when there's so much competition. So do you feel like it's something that helps you, or do you feel like you need competition knowing that you're a competitive person?
I'm a competitive person, really. So obviously I wanna achieve a higher ranking, but I know that if I only focus on being fifth or fourth or on the podium, that's not gonna work. And like I'm stressing with that mindset that the others are doing better than me. So it just works better to rather focus on myself, and then we will see the placing and everything. So I'm pretty confident. Training is going well, so obviously that helps.
That's great. And after Worlds, you did mention you were competing in Europeans just 5 weeks later.
Yes,
And
I'm competing at Euros as a 76 lifter, and that's gonna be my last junior comp.
yeah, are you like bittersweet about it? Like, you started off powerlifting as a sub junior, and next year you're gonna be in the opens already.
I have pretty mixed feelings about that. Like, I've been competing all my junior years almost. Only like when COVID hit, obviously not, but it's strange that I'm kind of climbed up pretty well after my sub-junior years and competed throughout all my junior years. So it is pretty sad, but an exciting thing, all in all, I think.
Then will we see you make your debut in Worlds next year? Open Worlds next year.
Next year, Open Worlds.
Yeah, is that on the books? Is that part of the plan?
About it, I may gonna do only one international comp next year, and may gonna be rather Euros, but I'm not sure yet. And even I'm not sure about the weight class, so
Yeah,
we will
that's
see.
fine. Yeah, as long as like you leave all your doors open so you can pick the door you want to pass.
Yeah.
And yeah, before we end the episode, is there anything you'd like to say to our viewers?
I don't know.
Any word of advice, stuff like that? You did say you were working with a psychologist, so like
Yeah.
for viewers who are experiencing anxiety in their training, is there anything you want to say to them that might help them in the training?
Well, if you are thinking about working with a sports psychologist, you definitely should, because it's gonna help. And also, shifting mindset is gonna work. So if you have anxiety about others are stronger and things like that, just focus on yourself and rather focus on your goals and your own number that you wanna hit.
Yeah. And thank you for joining us, Esther.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. You're most welcome. And I'll see you in Malta. And
Yeah.
thank you guys for tuning in. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.